Hello, my name is Paul Thomas Edward Cusick. I'm an engineer by education, but I do research in just about every field the university is teaching, including virology. This particular talk is about monkeypox and the mathematics of disease. Monkeypox is rearing its ugly head in the United States, and it's expanding. So in this paper, we show that monkeypox has reached the threshold of unstoppable transmission in the United States with a transmission rate of 81% increase in 1 week. The virus will go through the entire population, I think, unvaccinated population, in 3.5 years. According to CNN on August 3rd, 2022, the rate of increase of monkeypox in the previous week in the USA is 81%. As we show below, this is the rate that causes unstoppable spread of a virus, including monkeypox. As of Tuesday, there were 6,326 reported cases of monkeypox, an 81% increase from a week before, according to data from the United States Centers for Disease and Control Prevention. So here is a plot that may be familiar to you by now. It comes from astrotheology physics, and it is a plot of the sine and the cosine curve. They're just shifted by 90 degrees. And the sine curve is the infection, and the cosine curve is the resistance. And when we do that, when we add them together, the optimal meeting point occurs when time is equal to pi by 4, 45 degrees. So sine of 45 degrees equals the cosine of 45 degrees. And its value is 1 over the square root of 2, 0.707. So if we add that 0.707 plus 0.707, we get square root of 2 is the peak when you have two opposing. This one, cosine is 1 and sine is 0. So I call it the two-pole solution. So it's familiar to people who know astrotheology. So the infection is modeled as sine theta, and the derivative of sine theta is 81, which is c to the fourth. The speed of light is about 3, so 3 to the fourth is 81. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So we set cosine equal to 0.81, and we get theta equal to 35.9 degrees, almost 36 degrees, which is 0.6266 rads. Now the resistance is 1 minus that, so it's 1 minus 0.6266, which is equal to 373, which is 1 over 2678, and people will recognize 2678 as the superforce, 8 over 3. So 1 over the superforce is equal to the energy. And so the superforce shows itself in these calculations as well as in physics and many other fields as well. So important in astrotheology also is that the function is equal to the derivative here, and that's where it's equal to 0.81, the rate of monkeypox growth. So y prime is the growth, and it's equal to the function. And when the function is equal to 81, critical things happen. So the infection is equal to sine theta equals 0.81. Theta is equal to 54.09 degrees, which is 0.9415 rads. So we take time optimum to be pi by 4, which I just showed you in the sine and cosine plot. So it's 0.94415 minus pi by 4, which is 7853, 1587, which is, we know from astrotheology, the moment, which is the force times the distance. And it's equal to 1 minus the sine of 1. So, which is equal to 0.8412, which is equal to 57.27 degrees, which is 1 radian. So the moment is equal to the force times the distance, this is equal to the work, which is equal to the energy per unit time. So energy of 1 implies T equals 1, since E equals 1 over T. So then we have the general energy equation from physics. Again, the total energy is equal to the potential energy plus the kinetic energy. And we have Planck's constant times the nu, which is the frequency, is equal to energy, which comes out of modern physics. So the total energy here, kinetic and potential, is mc squared is the mass as potential energy, and kinetic energy is time, which is 1/2 mv squared, or 1/2 mc squared when the velocity is equal to the speed of light. And that's equal to this value, h equal Planck's constant times nu. Planck's constant is 6.626 times the frequency is 54. So the frequency is equal to 81%. Of course, you recognize that already. So the rate times the time is equal to the rate times 1 over the energy. So 81 divided by root 2 is 57.28, which is 1 rad. And 6.626 minus 6.266 is equal to 0.36 is the potential energy. It's equals mc squared. We know what m is. We know what c squared is 9, so m has to be 4. That happens to be the determinant in astrophysiology. The human-to-human transmission of the monkeypox virus is limited, with the longest documented chain of transmission being 6 generations, meaning that the last person to be infected in the chain was 6 links away from the original sick person. So we take that 36 and divide it by 6 times 6. It's equal to 1. 36 divided by 36 is 1. This is an important graph. It shows the ln function. This is the ln function here. And this is a critical point when t on this axis, energy on this axis, when t equals 1, this derivative is equal to 1. The rate of change is 1. And it tails off as you progress through time this way. So this number 1.2345679 skips over 8 is 1 over 0.81 over, and that is equal to the rate of change of the mass. The mass is the ln function. Mass is equal to the ln of t. So when dm by dt is equal to 0.81, we have t equal to 1.234567879. And the ln of that number is 0.2107. Pi minus 2107 is equal to 2.93, approximately 3 periods to get to this point where dm by dt is equal to 0.81. Ln of 1.2345679 equals 0.21072. So pi minus that number is 2.93. 2.93 divided by 6 days is equal to 0.4885. 0.4885 times 2.93 is 1.4316, which is approximately equal to a seventh. So the seventh, of course, is important because when you have that number 1.2345679, you're adding a seventh multiplied by 7. You're adding 1, and then 2 at the end. From 7 to 9 is 2. So it's 1/7 plus, or times 7 plus 2 is equal to 3. So 1 over 7 times that gives you the work 1.767. The work is 1.77. And so if we take 0.695, or almost 0.7, divided by 0.8412, which is the sign of 1, we get 1 minus the square root of 3. And if we say the square root of 3 is the eigenvector and it's equal to time, 1 minus time equals time is the derivative of 2t minus 1 equals 0. And that is the derivative of the golden mean parabola. So the minimum of the golden mean parabola happens when t equals 1/2, and E min is equal to minus 1.25. So in worldwide cases as of August 3rd, 2022, according to Johns Hopkins, was 26,000 cases approximately. And as of October 1st, according to the Center for Disease Control, there were 70,796 worldwide cases of monkeypox. So that's an increase of 2.72 times. Of course, but the exponential function is 2.718, which is approximately equal to 2.72. And so the virus is growing at an exponential rate. So if we take the exponential function and raise it to the power of -1, e to the -1 divided by, there's 58 days between August 3rd and October 1st. So over that time period, we have 6.3, which we've seen 6.26 in previous calculations. Here's the binomial distribution, and if we begin at this point here with the first decision, there's two ways to go, left or right, and there's 11 steps to get to the middle here, so we have 2 to the 11th, and there's another 10 steps to get to this final point here. These are all possibilities in these shaded areas. But the only one that really counts is this one where you finish. So there's about 21 steps from here to here, plus the original first step is 1. So if we take the 3.5 years we talked about earlier, passing through 3.5 years, which comes from calculating using the interest formula, future value equals present value times 1 plus I to the n. Future value divided by bring the present value down, and we set it equal to 0.8412 is equal to 1 plus the doubling, which is the exponential function. 1 plus 200%, so it'd be 3 to the power n. N is equal to 0.5753, which is approximately equal to 1 rad. And 7 pi is equal to 21.99, approximately equal to 22 from the previous slide. So the conclusion is at this rate of spread, the virus will go through 84.12% of the unvaccinated population of 7 phases. The key is the unvaccinated population, because a lot of people are vaccinated against smallpox. So, and Albert Einstein said, if we knew what we were doing, it wouldn't be called research, would it? And I couldn't agree more. Thanks for listening. There's some references there. And that's it. Thank you.